Welcome back to Overtime, everybody. The Quincy Notre Dame softball squad tasted defeat for the first time this afternoon, dropping an 8-2 decision to Bennett Academy at the Payson Seymour cluster. Eric Orn's frustration was nearly compounded by a second loss on top of that. Emphasis on the word nearly. We take you to Carrollton, Quincy Notre Dame at Payson Seymour today. And this is Nadia Berry with a hustling infield single to give the Hawks a 3-1 lead. They would take it into the sixth inning. Bottom of the sixth, Cassidy Gengenbacher right here dances the chalk line, and that double would play to run to close the lead back to 3-2. That is how we would go to the bottom of the seventh. Your first batter is Miss Aubrey Venverlo, and she is going to make a very clutch hit right off the bat, chasing Carrollton's starter, putting herself on first base, becoming the tying run. Your next batter at this point, Aaron Ashman, gets hit by a pitch, helping load the bases with no outs. Then Kelsey Lee draws the bases loaded walk to tie the game. Still no outs in this game. Eric Orn looking for something from Bailey Gengenbacher right here to make it happen. She doesn't have to. Miss Ashman hustles home on the wild pitch, and that's your ball game. Quincy Notre Dame rescues and wrestles victory from the jaws of defeat, winning today by the final count of 4-3. Porta Slam now, we take you there. Quincy High School taking on Hardin today, and Mariah Hoke was good on the mound all day long. I believe she had 7 strikeouts in this game, including the rise ball working for her there. Runner on third, Miss Hoke trying to make something happen right here. The grounder to Hannah Reller, who tosses to first to get the out and protect a 2-0 lead for Hardin at that point. Here comes Quincy High at that point. Here comes Lake and Freeze, though, with a high pop-up right here. As I said, Quincy High trying to build a lead right there. The single, then it would be Brittany Landwehr stepping in with the sac fly. And that brings Miss Freeze to third at that point, as Quincy High is going to extend its lead. Coming up next is Miss Freeze would score uncontested on the eventual game winner right here. 3-2 Quincy High wins as Mariah Hoke gets the win on the hill today. She had 7 strikeouts in this game. Quincy High School wins a trio of games at the Porta Slam. Most impressively, Mariah Hoke with 8 strikeouts against Rochester, and then you had your comeback win today as Quincy High fell down early to Hillsborough and rallied all the way back. Lake and Freeze, who you saw earlier in our highlights today, with a triple to help her team to victory in that one down the stretch. Ms. Landwehr, I think, had the sacrifice to score Freeze for what turned out to be the game winner in that game as well. How about Illini West today over at the Porta Slam taking on Havana? Ashley Kerfoot working right here. She's going to pop one to right field. She slides in for the double. It would score Jenny Bowman and put Illini West up 1-0 at this point. The Chargers working the count to perfection all day long. Again, it is Miss Bowman. She's going to draw the bases loaded walk to score Addison Upkiss. And Illini West would win their game today by the final count of 9-3. No other scores from the Chargers from the Porta Slam. But we have other highlights for you. Tough day for the Liberty Lady Eagles taking on Williamsville. Liberty somehow got the worst straw in this whole thing. 3 state powerhouse teams, though. In the first inning, Grace Sanders would nail the runner right there, trying to steal on her. Don't attack Grace. She's good. Brooke Wellman right here recording the strikeout to get out of a tough inning. But a tough day offensively all the way around for Liberty, not only when they did good things, like you see right here as Mackenzie Bike is just robbed of a line drive hit right there, but just not a good day for compiling runs. Williamsville, who's just incredible, wins this game today by the final count of 7-0. Also, Liberty would end up losing to New Berlin by the final count of 8-2, and to Monticello by the final count of 9-2 as well today. How about Griggsville Perry? Would their luck be any better over at Porta? Well, not really against Calvary today. Windy, as you can see right there, as people getting blown all over the place. How about Kelsey Sargent right there, blown off the hill, blown off the bases, all kind of fun right there. Kelsey Sargent draws the walk. That sets up Miss Hobson right there, who's going to crank one out to the wall. Kelsey Sargent would score. It's a triple for Hobson, and that cuts Calvary's lead to 3-1, but that would be as close as this game would get today, as it would be Griggsville Perry losing to Calvary by the final count in that game of 3-1. We do have some victorious highlights, though, for Porta, from West Central taking on Porta. Gina Nash right here drops a single down the left field line. That's good stuff. And then Andrea McLaughlin rips one to left field. That puts runners at second and third, and that would set up Kelsey Bettis, who's going to reach on a fielding error and right there score a run at that point. Then Melissa Roberts with the big home run the other night would bring Miss Bettis home on a single, this time doing it with some small ball. Nicely done there. And then on the wild pitch, Miss Roberts herself would score, as West Central was just compiling runs at Porta's expense today. Porta not really rude hostesses. They just got absolutely destroyed in this game. Again, Taylor Shanks with a nice base knock to score another run. West Central wins that one by the final count of 17-2. Other softball scores on the day. Central Southeastern knocks off Midwest Central by the final count of 2-0. Back at Payson Seymour knocks off Cedarburg, Wisconsin 7-1. Cheyenne Bowman with 15 strikeouts in that game. Payson Seymour, though, would lose to Carrollton 5-3 despite a home run and a triple from Miss Dakota Flussner in that ball game. Beardstown and Jacksonville waging war today. A split of the doubleheader. Beardstown wins the first game 4-1. Jacksonville rallies back and wins the second by the final count of 7-6. We've got college softball as well today. It's the Tori Bunzell show. First game of the day, taking on Rockhurst, and she was compiling strikeouts at a rather rapid manner today. She had 17 overall, 11 through the first 4 innings. She was just cruising. And trying to pick up her 8th no-hitter of her career. She would do exactly that. Just one hit for Quincy University on the day. It comes from Erin Gregory in the second inning as she beats the throw back to first base. That was at the table for Miss Tracy Brakeville, who is going to go 5-hole right here on the second baseman from Rockhurst, and that's going to score the only run of this ball game. As Tori Bunzell is going to make that stand up with the no-hitter, as I mentioned. She had 17 strikeouts. You can debate, though, whether that was her best pitching performance of the day. As Quincy University wins the first game 1-0, they would win the second game by that same total, as you see right there. In extra innings, Tori Bunzell with a perfect game. Tori Bunzell, just ridiculous today. I believe she struck out 30 on the day, didn't give up a single hit. I don't believe she let a ball leave the infield today. That's how dominant Tori Bunzell was, and she's darn good. Quincy University sweeping a pair today, though the offense is still a little testy at this point for the Lady Hawks. Elsewhere today, Evangel sweeps a pair in Canton from Culver Stockton, 2-0 in the first game, and in the second game, a little uglier, 8-2 was your final there. Illinois College, no match for Monmouth today, losing 2 on the road, 7-2 and 12-2 were your final there. And when we come back, we have your It's a Good Call segment of the week.